Hi, it's Nicole, and today I'm going to be doing a video about the Reading Women Challenge. I know I'm a little bit late to this one, but I'm here. All of the information about the challenge and a video from the creator Kendra Winchester is all going to be in the description box below, so please check that out to find out more about it and join in if you want to. So I think the challenge actually goes on for the whole of 2018, and there's just a focus on getting more of the challenge reads in June. So I'm going to try my best to get at least one of the books that I want to read that are kind of aimed at the challenge done in June, but it is really tight for me at the minute, which is why I couldn't join into some other book clubs that I wanted to, so I'll just have to see, but I'm gonna try really hard. So in this video I wanted to talk about some of the books that I've already read that fit some of the challenges, and then look at some of the books that I want to read for some of the other challenges, and then I just want to quickly go over the challenges that I don't really have a good idea of what book I want to put in there, and I'm taking suggestions for those if you have any. So instead of going in chronological order, I'll just start with the books that I've already read. For a book published by an indie press, I read Are Prisons Obsolete by Angela Y. Davis. For a book with an immigrant or refugee perspective, I'm going to put in The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. For a book by a Canadian or Australian author, I'm going to put in either The Female Eunuch by Germaine Greer or The Edible Woman by Margaret Atwood. For a book by an African American woman about civil rights, I would have been happy for this to be any black woman and not just an American one, but I'm going to put in Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Y. Davis, who is an American. For a poetry collection, I read Bone by Yrsa Daley-Ward, and for a book with a food item in the title, I read My Year of Meats by Ruth Ozeki. So out of the 24 challenges, I've only read 6 so far, and to be honest, I personally feel like I don't read nearly enough women, not as many as I'd like to, and it tends to be a little bit of a challenge for me. I have to look out for it, and I don't like that, but I'm working on it, and this is part of my working on it. So I haven't filled out an option for every category yet. So for a book in translation, preferably translated by a woman, I have It's Only Blood by Anna Dahlqvist, and I'll put her translator's name on the screen as well because I'm pretty sure that's a woman. The next one is a fantasy novel written by a woman of color, and for this one I think it probably fits magical realism more so than fantasy, but I'm putting magical realism in with fantasy because, I mean, who's gonna stop me? And I have chosen The Emissary by Yoko Tawada. The next category is graphic novel or memoir, and this, I guess, is more of a graphic biography, and I've just put in Red Rosa by Kate Evans, and I am happy with this fitting in this category, but if you have any other suggestions that you think might fit the category better and that I would actually really like, then absolutely let me know, and I'm happy to read both. Then for an essay collection, I want to read We Were Feminists Once by Andy Zeisler. This one has been on my list for a long time and is by one of the co-founders of Bitch Magazine, which is a really fantastic feminist indie magazine in the US, and I've worked with them before and they're just really, really great. So I'd be really interested in hearing what Andy Zeisler has to say. Then for a classic novel written by a woman, I was going to put Persuasion by Jane Austen, but then I get bonus points for it not being an Austen or Bronte novel. So instead I'm going to go with Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rhys. And then for a book written by a Nobel Prize winner, I have The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. It was between The Bluest Eye and Beloved, and I think that they're both equally good places to start from what I've heard, so I just went with The Bluest Eye after just randomly choosing it. For a memoir from someone who lives in a different country from me, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with one of the memoirs by Nawal El-Saadawi, but I'm not sure if I want to start with her younger years or her older years, because I know it's maybe more intuitive to start with the younger years because that's where she began, obviously, but because I don't really know much about her at all, I wondered if maybe I might want to start with where she is kind of now-ish. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at for that. So for a book by a woman that's been on my TBR the longest, I'm pretty sure it's The Children of Men by P.D. James, and I really loved that film, and I've heard some of the things that are different in the book from the film, and I have a feeling this is going to be one of those situations of Blade Runner and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, where I just much prefer the film to the book, but maybe it'll surprise me. I don't know, I'll just have to read it and find out. And then for a book in a genre that I never read, I wasn't sure what to do for this because I couldn't really think of a genre that I never read, so then I just went with a play because I don't really read plays. I think since high school I've maybe read one play. So I was going to go with A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. But I'm not sure anymore because when I looked back through the list of challenges, one of them calls for a true crime book, and it occurred to me that I don't think I've ever read any true crime, so maybe that would have been a better genre to pull from for that. I have no idea, but I think I'm just gonna leave it at A Raisin in the Sun because it sounds interesting anyway. And those are the books that I think I'm gonna read for those challenge categories, but that might change, I'm not sure. So that means that all of the rest of the challenges I am still on the lookout for suggestions. That said, I am very unlikely to get through 24 more books this year, so I think probably what I already have will probably see me through the rest of the year, but I'm going to try my best to read as many of these challenge books as possible. So the categories that I'm still on the lookout for are a book set in the American South, a short story collection, a book set in Russia or by a Russian author, a book about someone with a chronic illness, a true crime book, a book where the characters are traveling somewhere, a book from the Reading Women Award 2017, and I know, like, I've already seen that list, and none of them really jumped out at me for how I'm feeling at the moment, so I wasn't sure. I think I'll probably look back at that again later and just see what I feel like in the moment. So yeah, don't worry about suggestions for that. A book inspired by a fairy tale, and a book by a local author or recommended by my local bookshop. Then there's two bonus challenges. One is to read a book by Virginia Woolf, and the other is to read a book by Flannery O'Connor, and since I do not even know who Flannery O'Connor is, that's probably a terrible thing because I assume it's on this list in the way that it is because it's so obvious that this is a famous person that everybody should know, but I don't know her. So I'm gonna go with probably a book by Virginia Woolf if I'm gonna do a little extra on top of the other challenges that I'm probably not even gonna finish this year. So if you have any suggestions for any of the categories that I don't have any books for, absolutely let me know, please, because I'm happy to take suggestions, of course. And even if you have suggestions for a category that I've already kind of thought of a book to fill, I'm still happy to hear more suggestions because this is a really great opportunity to find out about more women authors and read more great stories and get good recommendations from everybody else. And I've been following other people's videos for this challenge as well and getting little ideas here and there about books that I might want to add to my TBR or have already added to my TBR. Let me know if you're participating in the Read Women challenge, and that's all for today, so I'll see you again next time. Bye!